I think artists in general, they ask the wrong question, which is, like, is happiness more important than money? It's a valuable question, but it's not the right question to be asking, because what you should be asking is how can I be happy and make money at the same time? For creatives, it's like you're so creative in the space of like your whatever your little niche, your talent is, whatever your medium is, right? So apply that same creativity to making money. You know what I mean? Like there's so many ways to make money. If I create a digital piece on Photoshop, I can print it and sell it as prints. I can print it on shirts and drop ship them. So someone else is handling all the production for me. They're handling all the shipping for me. And all my job is to create art and generate interest to the art, like basically get people to click on my website, see my art, and purchase it. But I don't have to deal with the shipping. I don't have to deal with actually printing the shirt. There's so many different things that you can print stuff on. You can license your work, put it on, like those websites like Pexel or like Stock Photo or whatever.
Right.
And you can license your work that way. And of course, it's like easier said than done. You have to study and you have to understand the mechanics behind each revenue stream you're trying to build. But there's so many ways to make money in the creative space now. If you always have the mentality of a starving artist, you will always be a starving artist. You have to get rid of that mentality. You have to think from like a more abundant state of mind.
Yeah, it's definitely possible to monetize your hobby, your happiness. Now,
Yeah.
I think it's the easiest it's ever been. Before the internet, which wasn't that long ago, even in like 15 years ago, 2005,
Yeah.
you know, who was selling stuff online? Big companies, really. I think eBay was a thing. But you wouldn't find an artist being, oh, hey, yeah, I'm going to sell murals or even T-shirts and, go buy them, that. And how do you get the word out back in 2005? That's a very, very different space. That's when MySpace was still a thing.
You said back in 2005, like how do you share your stuff? How do you get the word out, right? And that's always the question. It's not like a matter of like 2005, 2020, 2050. That's a question that people are always going to ask. How do you get the word out, right? Omni-channel marketing is a great way to do that, where you have all these different platforms, you develop a piece of content, you make it consumable for each platform, because another thing to understand is each platform is different. We had to talk about this a little bit earlier. So it's like, for example, like if you're on LinkedIn, right, you're approaching professionals and business owners. If you're on TikTok, you're approaching young kids and teenagers, so it's very different. Like, for example, with our company, since we do streetwear and mural development, we are not going to be pushing super hard on TikTok. Like, yes, it's cool. And like, yes, it gets people's attention because it's bold and big, right? But what we're more approaching on TikTok is kids who want to like wear the clothing, like kids that are into art, kids that are into streetwear, kids that like skateboarding or something like that. You get their attention when we're doing something big, and then you bring it back to the message of clothing. But then on LinkedIn, you're not going to be we're not making clothing sales on LinkedIn. We're like trying to connect with big business owners or people that are making big decisions, like they're key decision makers in their company, like marketers and whatnot, creative directors. And we're talking to them about mural development, how we can provide value to their business through art and through design. And it's really important to just know that to get the word out takes a lot of consistency in making a lot of content, making sure the content is consumable for the different channels that you're on, getting on multiple channels, and distributing it. So it's content creation and content distribution, and that's how you get the word out, like in today's day and age with the internet and all these platforms like evolving all around us.
Like myself, like the hardest thing I've had to do, or one of the hardest things I've ever had to do personally with my mental and my emotional being, is letting go of being a perfectionist. Again, if you listen to like one of my other podcasts with Athena Messina talking about mental health, I dive into how a lot of that came from sports, growing up as an athlete, and being like a closet creative, like not really identifying that I was so into music and art in general and performing. But there is that crossover in performance, right? There's athletic performance and there's creative performance. And I think that was probably the bridge of, oh, if I do this, I have to do really good. I have to be the best, because if you're not the best, you're not going to get the trophy. You're not going to be the champion, whatever it may be. And so with art, that can be really toxic for oneself.
Oh, really
and
toxic.
So, you know, over time, it's been really easy to beat myself up. I've been there where I've posted things, let it sit, and be like, this sucks. I take it down. Like before, like I really let anyone see it, whether it's minutes, a day, a week, a month, whatever. I've gone back and like, this doesn't make sense. I'm no good. And even still, that's still just your opinion. That is your own opinion. You could be amazing. I think the best of the best constantly are critiquing themselves and saying, it could be better. Sure, anything could be better. Chocolate ice cream could be better. Whatever, man. There's always gonna be a next level, but you just gotta appreciate the journey, right? Think of it as like a digital diary.
Like the platform is a diary. It's like a timeline of different stages of where you're at, like watching yourself grow and understanding like what is the goal and is that happening. And the analytics side is very important in terms of like understanding what the data means, how to read it, and like how to reach your goals by utilizing the data that's given to you. If you are not attracting the audience that you want to attract, and you're not getting likes or follows or whatever it is that you're trying to attract, if you're not getting it, it's only your fault. Like, it's only your fault. If you're like, you need to think of the dream person that you want to interact with and then make content specifically for that person. If your content is attracting different people, that's because your content doesn't have a direct message to who you want to reach. It's really important to, like you said, like attract the right attention, where you're like trying to get in front of the right people who maybe are influencers in your space. Also, on that note, to model people, to find someone that you do look up to find someone who's done it, to find someone who's walked the path and who's done what you're trying to do or something at least similar, and like model what they're doing. So research them a lot, understand who they are, understand where they came from, because we talked about earlier about hardship, and everyone goes through hardship of some type. Everyone goes through it, and most definitely, if you're trying to be your own business in being a content creator, an artist, any sort of entrepreneurial journey, like you will have hardship. You will have hardship. You will most likely go super broke at some point because you're putting money into hopefully your business, and the business isn't generating the sales that you want necessarily yet, and you're putting more money in than it's coming in. But it's important to be really like persevering, to model what successful people have done, and to understand that hardship is a given. Everyone faces hardship.